No, John, just get in.
That's what it is. It has music. I don't know why.
Just get in. Okay. There's the music for the time machine. I take you back to Sunday's show. 1 for Ron Paul, 3 for Mitt. 1 for Ron Paul, 3 for Mitt. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be one big phony.
Okay, let's make some predictions. I got the new red book, but it's downstairs, and I'm not going to go down and get it. I'll have to write on a piece of paper.
Prediction? Oh, I can give you the prediction right now.
Okay, give me your prediction.
Okay. Mitt Romney wins. Number 2, Rick Santorum, because they've just all of a sudden he's surging in the polls, so the fix is in on him. They got to have a buffer between him and Ron Paul. Ron Paul will be third, even though of course he will win the election, the nomination, the caucus. He will actually win it, but they're going to fake it up, and it'll be Romney, Santorum, and then Ron Paul. Okay, you can get out of the time machine now. No. It's this one. How about that, huh?
Yeah, that was spot on.
And people are saying, how did you know? It's so easy. It's just...
I have to remind people that you have a thesis, which I think pays off more often than not, which is that everything is rigged. And I think this matches your World Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
Which actually I totally subscribe to the idea that all World Cups the winners are based on geopolitical aspects of the day's news.
Indeed. And it was actually quite funny. Now, I don't know if, I think you were doing the Dvorak Horowitz Unplugged show. Although, so it was 2 hours later for me. I actually stayed up until 2 a.m. just because it was such interesting, not great, but interesting.
You just, because you nailed the prediction, you just wanted to make sure when you went to bed, you were happy.
Yeah, no, I had a blog post all ready to go. I'm like, no. I mean, they had me on the edge of my seat. But I knew it. I knew what was going to happen. It was like everything was so beautifully scripted. If you and I had sat down and said, okay, we have to do this week's episode of the presidential X Factor reality show, we would have done it exactly like this. This is and the way Ron Paul first showed up and did his speech, and then we had Santorum show up and do his speech. During his speech, he jumps ahead he's ahead. He does his speech. Then Romney jumps ahead. Then it's back to Santorum, and the Santorum stays ahead until the very end. And then they can't get the results. It's like it was like, okay, really, it's so perfect. Clearly it was rigged, and it doesn't matter because in the system, Ron Paul not only got the electoral votes that he needs, which is 7, I believe. So each of the
Well, that's not necessarily true, because it turns out when you start looking into it that this whole thing is something of a facade, because they still have another meeting, and then they maybe throw all the votes into anybody they want to. This whole thing this caucus thing is not necessarily by law divided up into each person getting X number of votes.
No, but what the Ron Paul campaign has done is they made sure that their people stayed so that they would actually become delegates. And I think that's
you get those delegates in there.
That's what you want. It was a completely useless exercise. It was only good for television. I mean, did you watch at the very end when the votes? I mean, it was absolutely crazy. Anderson Cooper at a certain point said to what's that financial douchebag's name on CNN? Vushi,
douchebag on CNN.
Yeah, that guy. Just like that. Yeah.
What
he says? What the hell is this magic Twitter wall you've got? What the hell does it mean? It's like they were completely discrediting all of their stuff. They're swooping stuff back and forth between screens. Erin Burnett walking around without her shoes on. By the way, from a television producer standpoint, she's done a good job on her lower half.
She's losing weight, is what you're saying.
Yeah, she's losing weight.
It still needs some work.
Well, she's dressing in black, so she hides the belly a little bit. But no, it's good. I think it's good. The legs still need some work and stuff. That's why she's not on Fox and why she's on CNN. But it was just funny. And Fox was even funnier. They had, what's her face? The girl who needs to eat, Megyn.
Megyn Kelly?
Yeah, she needs to eat. She's thinning out too much.
She needs to eat, all right.
At a certain point, she's like, zoom out. There's no one here. It's just us and the makeup people. Like, oh, man. They totally broke down.
Well, they were sick of working all. I mean, that's East Coast time. Those people are at 3 and 4 in the morning.
Yeah. It was hilarious. It was good television. That's what it was. And I think that the only reason they delayed the final results is because I guess they had some make goods to do or something on the advertising
for the ads.
Yeah,
we ran your ad, man. But it was like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, no one was watching it, man.
We were packing them in.
So I was watching C-SPAN about this voting process. And they had Linda Upmeyer on, who is the president of the Iowa caucus hoo-ha. And she makes a number of faux pas. Here's a guy who calls in, and he's clearly crazy. Of course, that's, whenever you call in on the independent line, you can even see the host go, oh, God, this is even crazy.
Breaking up, I want to make sure that we get this right. You're hearing that the final tally from Iowa would be counted in Illinois?
Yeah, I just saw that. That was a report on Chicago radio. Just said that yesterday. I just read that this morning on the internet. So with her having the title of Republican leader, I would like to know where these votes going to be counted. Are they going to be? Are they doing anything different this time? Or are they going to be counted behind closed doors?
Well, let's talk about how the caucuses work. Go ahead, Linda Upmeyer.
Sure. That's a great question.
That's a great question.
That's a great question. But it's not even a question. It says well, I guess it is in the vaguest sense, but how do the caucuses work is not a great question.
But that's not actually the question. The question is, will the votes be counted in Illinois? That's the question.
Well, I know, but the question that she said it was a great question was reference to the...
It's a great question. Would you like to hear the answer to this great question, which, of course, is not an answer?
Every individual vote that is cast at a caucus will be counted at the caucus in full view of everyone there. Every one of the candidates has an opportunity to have an observer watch that count, so everything is counted there. Then they are called in to a central location, and all of that is tallied. Typically, that has been at Camp
Camp what? What was she going to say, do you think?
I don't know.
Camp David, Camp
Mofo.
Camp Mofo here, counting up the votes. Hello, we have the votes from Camp Mofo.
Headquarters in Des Moines. I'm not positive if that's exactly the location.
No, she's the president of the whole shebang. I'm not positive. So she doesn't answer the question. She's not positive if that's where it was done. So there's some other guy that I found on the internet who called into the press office there at the Iowa Republican or the whoever counts the votes. And the answers that he got, I just have a little snippet here, were quite revealing, because the way it works, as you just heard Linda, great question, Upmeyer say, is they're tallied locally, and then they're called in to a central location. And that, of course, is the weak link.
But, I mean, either way, if it's entered into a system, and in that system there's another human on the other end of that system, checking those votes, what's the difference between that and someone calling it in? I mean, either way, the numbers can be falsified.
Really? The numbers can be falsified. Oh, right. So the guy goes, that's what I'm talking about.
Getting at.
Is there any possibility that these numbers can be falsified in the Iowa caucus that's coming up?
No, and absolutely not. And that would be in no one's interest.
Now listen what he says.